is that?
Well, you know.
And Louis, you say that while employee recognition is on every company's to-do list, that it often gets forgotten. Why is that?
Well, you know, on the list of operational concerns, you tend to focus on tasks and you tend to look at the plan and make sure that you meet your objectives and your KPI. And we often miss that prioritization, and it is a huge mistake.
And why is that? Why is it so important?
It's very important because business is made with people. It's all about people. You know, as human beings, work life is a big part of our life. When you get recognized for what you do, you're a happier person, and you produce better results at the end of the day. That human touch is what it's all about. Take the time to tell your people you matter and what you did is awesome, and keep doing it. You know, it's simple.
What if their work isn't awesome?
Well, then you don't recognize that piece. But there's always something great about someone. And so there's kind of two components about employee recognition. There's the daily task of a manager, which is to connect to who you are and where you're going and what your limits are and give you constant feedback about that. That's very, very important. And then there's the public part, which is, as a team, who do we celebrate? Who do we celebrate in terms of achieving our plans or achieving our values or being an incarnation of the values we believe in? These are the two pieces, I would say.
And have you ever been in a position where you had an employee who sort of kind of wanted a lot of recognition, maybe for things that don't deserve a big celebration, just sort of, you know, congratulations, you sent the email you were supposed to send. You know, it does seem sometimes like people want to be lauded for things that they should be doing anyway. It's not an extra achievement. How do you handle that?
Yes. Good management establishes those parameters, you know, and having performance reviews and setting the objectives up front allows you to avoid all of those misunderstandings or mismatched expectations. I'm going to tell you that I don't value you sending an email, but if you do realize that piece of the plan, it is a big deal, and I'm going to put that goal for you to stretch, and when you're done, you're going to be a better person for it.
And so from a business standpoint, how would a business go about setting up a formal employee recognition program?
Number one is let's understand the messaging that we have. We have values, we have beliefs, and we want to celebrate those values as a group so that it reinforces it. We all reinforce each other in meeting those values. That's step number one. Step number two, try to bring it back to the plan that you have, so that as a business we celebrate our success. We're all aware of the progress that we're making, and we therefore are part of something much bigger than ourselves. We are, as a company, growing 50%. Well, that's a big deal. Let's celebrate it, and let's see who amongst ourselves contributed. So doing that and making sure that you celebrate specific values, such as, let's say, at Yodle, question authority is a big one. Well, every quarter we're going to pick a person who has questioned authority. We will explain what he or she did, and we will celebrate it. And that's extremely powerful.
Not all bosses are going to want to celebrate questioning authority, are they?
Not every boss, but Yodle does. It's part of, it's a very core value. I, as a boss, don't have the monopoly of the truth, and I hire people who are smarter than me. And if you do that, you need to give them a chance to speak up.
Well, it's a good boss who's able to admit all of that. One of the things I found interesting was the title of this person that you hired to oversee employee recognition, the Queen of Culture. What does that even mean?
That means that she owns culture at Yodle. Culture is about values, culture is about beliefs that we have, and she's going to organize events, and she's going to organize structure so that we celebrate those values on an ongoing basis. So she organizes all sorts of events, and all of those events are very meticulously planned to reach a very specific objective, and we find that to be a very, very good investment.
Does anyone ever get rewarded for questioning the authority of the Queen of Culture?
Ah, that's a good question. Maybe I should start.
A stumper, a stumper. Now, a lot of these times we're talking about rewards. Rewards often equal money.
Yes.
And what if a company doesn't have the funds to be handing out bonuses?
So one thing that's very, very important to realize is not everyone wants the same rewards. Money goes some ways for certain people. It doesn't do anything for other. So what you have to look at is variety and choice. And so there's a lot of things that you can do that have nothing to do with money that goes a long way. Tap in the back is a good start. Public recognition is another one. Giving training, giving personal training for one to reach his own objective in terms of personal growth and personal development is something that's really cheap to do because we have internally a lot of great resources. Let's say I have an SQL programmer that is really good at explaining and at teaching, and I have a marketer who wants to know more about SQL. I can put those two people together for cheap for lunch and have a brown bag about SQL programming. So it doesn't have to be expensive.
And then